Hello and welcome. This video is going to be a what sold video for eBay, and that's because eBay is the only platform I made sales on for the end of May. So it's May 22nd to May 31st. And because I have a couple extra days in there, it's gonna be a long video, so I hope you're here for it. I'm gonna scoot over here because Miss Moxie is taking up right there. If you can see her little tail and her little face. So grumpy. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. So the first sale I have to share with you is a piece of ephemera. I picked this up for free. I got to pick a hoarder house very early on in my reselling career for free. And these things have been selling, and I'm so grateful for that because I love selling ephemera. This is a vintage New Yorker magazine. So these vintage New Yorker magazines have multiple reasons why people buy them. They have a specific date on them. So sometimes people buy them because the day you were born, this was going on in the world. New Yorkers like to buy them because it's an iconic piece of literature, and also because of the artists and the advertisements. Sometimes people will cut the advertisements out and put them and sell them separately. I don't want to do that. So I'm really happy that this sold for $12.64, and because this was a magazine with advertisements in it, or advertisements, however you want to say it, I have to ship this in a flat rate envelope, just so you know. But I'm really grateful for the sale and glad that this did not end up in the dumpster. This is a Whitesnake vinyl record. I recently had an amazing vinyl haul. I will link that video up above if you haven't watched it. If you are tired of me saying that in these videos, it's because nobody has watched that video. That was my lowest performing video for like the last couple of months, has been that video. And I don't know why, because I've gotten a lot of comments on it. So anybody that's watched it is like, oh my god, this is amazing, but apparently nobody cares about records, except if you really care about records, who knew? But this Whitesnake album sold like within 48 hours of me listing it for my full asking price of $19.87, and I paid $2 for this at a thrift store. At a Goodwill, actually. This is a Madewell top. I originally purchased this hoping it would fit me, but it is a size large, and I'm kind of like a medium. I am a medium, small medium size, and so this didn't quite fit me. This is a beautiful green t-shirt. I bought it because I thought it was going to fit me. I paid $3 for this at a thrift store because at the thrift stores in my area, at least Goodwills, any tank tops or t-shirts, it's buy two for $6.25. So it's like $3 and some change. But sold for $7 pretty quickly, actually. I was very surprised how fast this sold, considering it's just a basic t-shirt. $7, and the buyer paid for shipping. This is a Boden top, so I just explained to you how my pricing works. So I paid also $3 and some change for this as well. I do like buying and selling in Boden. I have gotten a lot pickier as I've kind of like dialed into what does and does not sell from Boden. But this was a pink top with some really cute little embroidery on the collar, and it sold actually for $10. As you guys can see, Barbie core is on the title. A lot of pink stuff is going to sell closer and closer as we get to the release of the Barbie movie, and then after that. So just, you know, put that Barbie core in there if you can, like if it's a hot pink item or like looks very 80s or very 90s, you can get away with it. That might be a good thing to do within the next few months. This is a Duluth Trading Co. piece. This second one, I actually found two of these at the Dav in Williamsburg. I paid $5 for this and it sold for $20 pretty quickly, and of course the buyer paid for shipping. Duluth is a great brand. I wish I could find stuff in my size. I keep finding stuff that's awesome, not in my size, but I'm grateful that I'm able to help other people out and also to keep this stuff out of landfill. This is Can. I actually bought a few Can pieces, but of course the only piece that has sold for me has been this pair of black denim. Gray and black denim sells really well for me. I'm guessing it's because I wear a lot of it. But it sold for $21, and of course the buyer paid padded flat rate for shipping. I love buying and selling these vintage 90s tops that have these crazy patterns. If it looks like Zach from Saved by the Bell would wear it, I am definitely buying it. This was Policy. I picked this up in an estate sale. I paid roughly like $2 for this, and it sold for my full asking price very quickly for $19.87. This is something I switched out from my rotating reseller closet here. So if one goes in, one has to come out, and I decided to give this up. This was actually donated to me for free. So Carolyn and Ernie, thank you very much. They donated this to me when they were cleaning out their closets before their move. So again, Carolyn, thank you. I paid nothing for this and it sold for $7.50, and of course the buyer paid for shipping, so this was great. I got to wear it and then I got to sell it, and Carolyn got to wear it and it didn't go in the landfill, so this was the circle of life. Sorry, it was really bad. Okay, next item. This is a Fiden's Brewing Company. I believe I picked this up at Diversity Thrift for Dollar Day, and I picked this up because I've had a lot of success selling craft brewery t-shirts. This sold so fast. It sold within less than a week, and I think it's because of the fact that I did actually look up where the brewery is from. This is from New York, and it sold, like I said, within a week for $9.87, and the buyer paid for shipping. I honestly was like, if it doesn't sell, it's in one of my favorite colors and it fits me, so I was gonna keep it, but I didn't have to, and I like money more. This is Chico's Travelers. This is from the 90s, and I love Chico's Travelers because they travel in and out of my store so fast. It sold for $15. I don't get a whole lot for them. I know some people are able to sell them for more, but $15 to $20 is normally what I get for them, and I'm perfectly happy with that. This is Sahalie Butter Fleece. I also paid $1 for this during Diversity Dollars Day. I do have another Dollar Day Diversity thrift haul coming soon. It was a really good haul, so it's taken me a while to list everything. This sold for $15, and again, I only paid $1 for it, and it sold at the end of May, and it is a fleece piece. So that is why, even though I'm behind in my what sold videos, I still think it's important because I sell everything all the time. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Also, if you have not seen that movie, I highly recommend it. It's awesome. This is Miraclesuit. This is my first time finding Miraclesuit in my area, and also the first time I've ever bought and sold a pre-owned bathing suit. So this sold for $24, and I had to guesstimate the size because it actually looked like someone had donated all of their swimsuits, and this I held up next to some other ones, and it was a size 10 based on what else was there, because you know, most people donate like all of something that they don't want, and I think that's what happened here, because I also picked up a vintage bathing suit as well with this haul. Sold for $24. So the people on reselling YouTube that recommend Miraclesuit as a brand, I know my friend Alicia over at Murray's Life loves picking up and selling this brand, which is how I know about it. So Alicia, thank you. And this was a great sale. I believe I paid $5.50 for this at Goodwill, and I'm glad for the sale. This was a beautiful piece. Again, something that I wish fit me because it was gorgeous. It is the colors that I love, even though it is Ann Taylor Loft. It was pretty. It had the beautiful puff sleeves. It had the nice Henley top. I'm not sure if this was a viewer sale, so if it was, thank you so much. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just thinking back on it now because, again, I'm a little bit behind. I thought maybe somebody bought this because I said I loved it so much, and so they got it for themselves. So if you did purchase this from me, leave it down below and I will correct that next time. But this piece was gorgeous. I wish it was in my size. This was, again, because it had the puff sleeves, I would have been a small in this because, again, I'm a medium. These make it this medium. Sold for $20.58, and I'm so grateful for that. This, I know for a fact, is a viewer sell. Tracy, thank you so much. This was just a very generous sale, and I am so grateful for it. So I did a thrift haul video, and when she saw these two items, she immediately bought them from me. She didn't even send me an offer. She just paid full price. So Tracy, thank you so much. This is my first time finding Le Creuset ever. I should say it's the first time I found Le Creuset at the thrift store at a price that I could resell it. I paid $8 for this piece, and it sold for $69.87, and it's because it was one of the made in France pieces. And also it was this beautiful blue 7-inch enamel sauce pot. So Tracy, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And then she also bought this set of Dorothy Thorpe roly-poly glasses. These are the 4-ounce glasses. So I hope you enjoyed your aperitif in these. It's also my first time finding Dorothy Thorpe roly-poly glasses where the silver fade hasn't completely been demolished by dishwashers. So again, Tracy, thank you so much. This is incredibly generous. She also paid my full price for this for $34.87. Amazing sales, and again, thank you. Another viewer sale. This is Diana. Diana, thank you very much. I very much appreciate that. She purchased this 1996 movie tie-in for Romeo and Juliet. If you have not seen this movie, I cannot recommend it enough. Basically, they decided to take classic Shakespeare. They used the regular Shakespeare verbiage and tell the story of Romeo and Juliet in a very modern way, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. The soundtrack is chef's kiss. It is a young Claire Danes and a young Leonardo DiCaprio, and this was definitely a pinnacle movie in my childhood. I absolutely love this movie, and I had this CD. I don't know what happened to it, but I had this CD, and this was on repeat in my CD player for a really long time. But she bought this book for me. I got this at the bins for 25 cents, and she paid me $5 for it. So thank you, Diana. She also bought this little women book from me. I also picked this up at the bins for 50 cents. So I was able to bundle them together. You saw that the Romeo and Juliet book was free shipping, and then this little women book was not free shipping, so I was able to bundle them together and send both of them off to her and make a really nice profit. So I paid 50 cents for this book, 25 cents for the other book. I hope you loved them. You have great taste in books, let me just say. And that is why I picked them up for the bins, is because both of these books meant a lot to me, and I did not want to see them get thrown away, because that's what happens to books if they don't get sold at the bins. The next item is a full price sale, and I paid $1 for this. I don't remember if I paid $1 for this at the bins or if I paid $1 for this at an estate sale. But either way, I paid $1 and it sold for $12.87, and the buyer paid for shipping. Harley Davidson t-shirts, they don't sell for a whole lot, but I will pick them up at the bins, and I will absolutely pick them up if I get them for really cheap at estate sales. The next few sales are actually from a ThredUp t-shirt box, and they all kind of sold within the same day. It was weird and interesting, especially since these are like older items in my store, so I don't know what was up, but I'm grateful for it. This was a Riot Society t-shirt. Again, I picked this up in a ThredUp t-shirt box, so did I pick this out myself? No. But did I list it? Yes. And actually, that ThredUp t-shirt box, everything was like just a little bit over $1, so for $9.87, a full price sale. Amazing. And then this also was from that ThredUp box, and this is from an artist named Ingrid Michaelson. And actually, you guys convinced me to list this shirt, because I honestly was going to donate it, and you're like, no, her music's great. I love her. Definitely you should list it. This is from her Lights Out tour in 2014. Again, my buy cost for that box was roughly just a little bit over $1, and again, another full price sale. This is actually an international sale, so amazing. $9.87, and then they paid for shipping, and then a little bit more because they shipped it internationally. This item you guys have seen before because it sold before and then was returned for fit. This is an item I picked up at an estate sale for, I believe, $5. This is a linen dress, and as you notice, this is a handmade linen dress. If an item is vintage and it is handmade, doesn't have a brand in it, I am more than happy to still buy and sell it. I have a lot of faith in my ability to use good keywords and descriptors to get things sold, and I did a good job because it sold not once, but twice. And this time it sold for my full asking price, so I did even better. Basically, I made up for selling it before and having it returned and then selling it again. $24.87, and the buyer paid for shipping. This is something else that I picked up at the bins. I paid 25 cents for this. That's what they charged me for it because it was a book, but it wasn't a book. Whatever. You see that they paid $10.40 to ship this, is because this technically doesn't go medium mail because this is like blank stationery. So they had to pay me a priority rate for it. So this went in a priority rate box, and you know, I only paid 25 cents for this, so I made a decent profit. I keep mentioning that I buy and sell these little vintage knit tops all the time. They are super on trend right now, and that is why I keep buying and selling them. So anytime I see one of these cute little knit tops, I pick it up, especially when I get them for really cheap. This sold for $14.34, and the buyer paid for shipping. So again, that's why I keep buying is because I keep selling them. This is another item I picked up at the bins. I paid 50 cents for that because that is what hardcovers are at the bins. This is a first edition, so again, something that an FBA seller would miss because they would just scan it and discard it because they can't send it into Amazon because they're not willing to check if it's a first edition or not. So I did sell this for my full asking price, and of course the buyer paid for shipping. As I mentioned before, I bought so much of these at the Restore near my house, thinking that I was gonna make a killing on them. I looked, because I said something last time, I paid $2 a piece for these, thinking that I was gonna make so much money, and then they sat for over a year before they started selling, and now they're selling like hotcakes, so I don't know. The reason I bought these is because this contact paper, that's what this is a great renter-friendly way to renovate your space because it's peel and stick. And so that's why I bought this. I sold 2 of these to the buyer for $19.74. And I can safely say that as of this moment today, I am now in the profit of these. I still have like dozens of these in different patterns, but I am now in the profit. It did take a while to sell, but once they started selling, they really started selling, and now I'm confident in my buy. So I'm really glad that I did invest the money, but it was a long-term investment. This is something like the first sale I showed you. This is a book that I got for free at the Hoarder House. This was new sealed from 1966. It was still in the original cellophane wrapping, and it sold also as an international sale for $19.87, so I'm very grateful that this sold. This is a Cole Haan piece. I'm very picky with my Cole Haan. I either need to pick them up for really cheap, they have to be in immaculate condition, or they have to be interesting, and these clicked all of those boxes. This is a beautiful pair of driving loafers. They were a red snakeskin penny loafer pattern. Really interesting looking shoes, and a size 7.5. They sold for my full asking price very quickly after I listed them for $29.87. This is a naughty book. This is the Pearl. The Pearl was, I guess, like the penthouse of the Victorian era. Like it didn't have pictures in it. It might have some drawings, but it was salacious and titillating erotic fiction of the time period. And this was a book that had all of that in there. And it's from 1969. Nice. And it sold for my full asking price of $4.87. I did offer this on Whatnot first, and nobody took me up on it. Someone purchased it on eBay. This is something that I picked up when I went thrifting at the bins with Brett, which, by the way, it's almost August, Brett. Are we gonna do that again? I paid $3.50 for this at the Richmond bins. Again, that is where my sourcing opportunities are with shoes, are normally brands that other people don't know or aren't the big name brands. And this sold for $17, and the buyer paid for shipping. Another first edition hardcover from the 90s. This one is free shipping. Again, I've been slowly shifting my books over as I renew the listings to include the shipping in the cost and do buy 3 get 1 free as far as books go. I'm trying to see if that kind of promotion like makes things move in a higher quantity. You guys see about how many books I've sold in this video. I do buy and sell a lot of media in general, and I'm trying to see if I can raise my ASP a little bit, but still being able to sell smaller items. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So I'm doing the buy 3 get 1 free promo and slowly moving things over to free shipping, but it's not really free shipping, it's just kind of, I incorporate that into the price. This sold for $11.87, and this was a Stephen King book. I don't buy and sell a whole lot of Stephen King books. That's the wrong thing to say. I buy Stephen King books. If they're interesting to me, I keep them. I'm like literally staring at 2 on my shelf that I bought recently that I decided to keep because I actually seemed interested in reading it. But this one I knew was a little more valuable, so I decided to sell it. The next item is a new with tags item. This is a pair of Levi's classic straight shorts. They had a 10-inch inseam and a 36-inch waist, so I knew these would sell pretty quickly, especially given it is the time of year for it. Sold for my full asking price relatively quickly for $21.87, and shorts in my area are roughly $4.50. Two more bins finds. This is a pair of Charlie Brown books. I paid 50 cents for these books, so 25 cents a piece. They sold on offer for $5 and the buyer paid for shipping for this. This is a Margot purse. I have, again, like I think a lot of y'all have been watching a lot of Kaylee Elaine. She's been showing up a lot on my recommended page on YouTube. I do peep her videos every now and again. And one of the ones I watched, it had her talking about this brand. This is a purse brand called Margot. And she said it sold really quickly for her, and it sold very quickly for me. I found this at the Dab. I ended up paying, I think, $5 for this, and it sold for $22.50 very quickly.
Hey, Editing Bob here, just to let you know that this is actually a viewer sale. Sarah bought this from me, so Sarah, thank you very much. I had a feeling it was, and I went and back and checked, and so Sarah, thank you very much for this sale and purchasing this purse from me. I appreciate it.
Great sale, and I'm really happy that reselling YouTube has paid off, not only me creating content, but me consuming the content. This next set of dishes is from the Goodwill. I actually picked up 8 of these and decided to sell it as 2 sets of 4. This sold on offer for $17.50 and the buyer paid $12.50 for shipping, so basically $30 all in. I paid $8, so $1 a piece for the whole set when I originally purchased them. So sometimes I do it as, like, if I buy a big set as individual pieces, and I'll do a multi-quantity variation listing, and then sometimes I'll do like even number sets and sell them off. It just depends on when I do my research, which way they're selling faster and for more money, just in case you wanted to know that. This next item is something I picked up at the bins. It is very rare that I find white stuff thrifting in general where it is clean, but this was very crisp, and I found it at the bins of all places, and it sold for $24.87. This is Anthropologie, a former Anthropologie brand called Cloth and Stone, and this was a small size linen jumpsuit. I picked it up because it had no flaws, it was at the bins, and I love selling linen. So this did take a little while to sell, partly because of the fact it took me a while to list it because it's a jumpsuit and I didn't want to wrestle with Karen. It's not that I don't like Karen. She's been amazing and one of the best investments I've ever made in my business, but it's still a pain to like get the little leg into like the rod and then to like fiddle with her in order to, we're just very intimate. It's a very intimate time together. And, you know, sometimes I just don't want to have that intimacy. Sometimes I just want to be in my own little bubble and not have to wrestle with her. But I'm grateful for the sale, and that was a lot for very little, and I hope you guys are okay with that. I also will model stuff on occasion, especially if I feel like Karen cannot necessarily convey how awesome the piece is. She does her best, but sometimes it's nice to have a body, like an actual body in the item. This is from the 90s. It's an Eddie Bauer skirt. This is a wrap skirt, and I don't know, it's kind of like showing off with my leg. It sold for $70.50 and the buyer paid for shipping, which if you wonder why my arm's back here, it's because I'm holding it closed because this was a size 32 and it was way too big for me, but I kind of wanted it to look cute. And at this time I didn't have Karen, so that's kind of why I did that. But it sold, so it was worth my time putting this on. I'm really excited to share this sale with you. So the only reason I know about this brand is because of my friend Amber over at Amber Resells. She put together a video talking about the best-selling Western boot brands. I will link that video up above if you guys have not seen it. I paid up for these. I think I paid $15 for these at the Dav in Williamsburg, and they sold very quickly for $90. If you were wondering how I got this amazing picture for this pair of boots, I use an app called Photo Room. This is not sponsored. I give them $70 a year to use their app. They have never paid me. They don't know I exist. But they have now started to do AI generated backgrounds. And that is what I decided to do here, and I think it worked. This is a pair of ostrich boots, and I knew that they would be valuable, and I knew that they would sell quickly, again because of Amber's video, and I'm really grateful. They originally had marked these at like $40 or something, but no one picked them up. Now I know I could have picked them up at $40 and it also would have been worth it, so great. great sale, and Amber, thank you. Another book sale for you guys. This is Bloody Okinawa. I believe I picked this up at the bins for 50 cents. Another one of the items where I have shifted things over to free shipping. It sold for my full asking price, $11.87, and I am grateful for having sold it. This next item was a viewer sale. Brandy, thank you so much. She sent me an absolutely adorable message, and I very much appreciate it. Also, I hope your reselling is going well and you are not suffering from summer slowdown. She purchased this Texas recipe book that I picked up at the bins for 25 cents for $2.90 and then paid shipping. I thought about keeping this for Thrifted Treats, which again, I keep saying I'm long overdue for, but she purchased it from me before I could do it. And I am really grateful, and I'm glad that you saved another book from the landfill and purchased it for me. Another bins find. I paid 50 cents for this. Whenever I find these little Barnes & Noble pocket classics in hardcover, I pick them up at the bins because they all consistently sell. They all sell for not a whole lot of money. Again, this sold for $3.90, but 50 cents to 3.90 cents, those little dollars add up after a while. And again, I love saving books from the landfill. This is another vinyl record sale, another full price sale. This is $14.87. This was a free shipping one. Again, I just built that price into the price because I'm trying to see if I can get more media sold in volume. It's not working so far, as you guys seen. It's still one-offs, but I'm not losing anything because again, I'm incorporating the shipping cost into the price of the item. $14.87. I paid $2 for this at that Goodwill thrift store. This was an international sale, another book sale. I paid 50 cents for this at the bins, and it sold for $7.40. And so not only did they pay for shipping, but they also paid an additional amount for international shipping. I will pick up vintage Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew books, but they have to be the vintage hardcovers for me to do that, just because those are the ones that seem to sell the best for me. And the last item I have to share with you is also a book. I've talked about before how buying and selling these choose your own adventure books can be very lucrative. One of my most recent What Sold videos, I talked about selling one for $50. At the same place I picked that one up, I picked this one up. I paid 49 cents for both of them. This one sold for $9.50 and the buyer paid for shipping. So I turned 49 cents into a $9 profit, which I'm very grateful for. And of course the other one I turned into like a $50 profit, but that's there you go. That's why I like buying and selling books, is because one, I keep them out of landfill. I am personally a bibliophile and I love reading. So thank you guys so much for watching. My voice is getting a little scratchy because this was a very long video. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you guys so much for your patience and me trying to get these What Sold videos caught up. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye!